Well, it's October 18th. We just had another really nice morning sit. No does this morning, just bucks. And when you get into the pre-rut like this, that's not uncommon that we get some bucks. We didn't see anything for the first hour and a half. And had a real nice buck right down there this morning. We call him Tower. Diane actually named him. He's from a property that's about a half mile, 3/4 of a mile away. And he was out cruising this morning. This is the first time we've had him on this property. So the bucks are moving. They're starting to move a little bit. Still not quite the pre-rut, but boy, we were knocking on the door, and it is very, very close. And I'm looking ahead over the next week to 8 days, and I'm planning my sits. And these are the most important sits of the year as it extends from next week, with the weekend ending in the 25th, 26th, and then extending into the first 10 days of November. So we're right on the doorstep. I can't wait. And with that comes a lot of opportunity if you're checking out the forecast. Now, I could just tell you, just go out and hunt these days, and this is why. Just hunt these days. I can show you the map this little forecast and that I just made right now while I'm sitting here. But I want to teach you how to hunt the weather. It's one thing just to say green light, red light, yellow light, and go stop or maybe. But it's another thing to actually learn for yourself, to be able to look in the forecast and understand why deer are moving, bucks are moving. We had a morning this morning, it was in the upper 30s. We have high winds up above, and so we're hunting a little bit lower. We're hunting mid-level. We're not getting much wind. I know when we go down to the ground down here, we're not going to get much at all. And so we had a lot of reason to hunt in this location, and I am keeping my eyes peeled because it's that time where we could have something cruise by. I don't think we will, or I wouldn't be talking right now. But great morning sit, and the reason I sat today is because this morning it was in the 30s. Yesterday was 49. It topped out, or 54. Supposed to then top out at 63, 59, and 61 this weekend. So we're supposed to be pretty warm today, Saturday and Sunday. We're going to have a little moisture coming in. And, I might actually take a sit if you can't get next week off anytime, then and you have to get out this weekend, then of course there's always that opportunity that you can shoot a buck. But there's some days coming up next week, and part of those days and the value of those days comes because this weekend is going to be warm. It's going to be unseasonably warm. And then next week, Monday, we have rain, 57 for a high, 41 for a low. When you see the low for a particular day, that low is referring to the following morning. So Tuesday morning is supposed to be 41. We have a high of 49 on Tuesday. It's clearing out. Low of 35. So that means Wednesday morning is going to be a low of 35, and around here in the valley here, that means we're probably going to get some frost. It'll probably be low 30s to high 20s. And so because of this weekend warm weather, I'm taking that opportunity, that weather. When it gets cool next week, the morning pre-rut buck hunts are going to explode. Now, if you're in southern Indiana, southern Illinois, Missouri, southern Pennsylvania, and further south, you might need to wait a week to see that pre-rut activity. But we have a beautiful rub and scrape right down there. In fact, we have a rub right on our trail camera tree for the first time in this location. The scrape down there is hit really well, and we saw on Monday 10 bucks. We saw 3 bucks this morning, including Tower, 4-year-old, really nice buck. And they're just starting to move out and move around. And this warm weather this weekend, you might have to hunt in it. But I'm guarantee if I hunt this weekend, I'm not burning out one of my best stands for next week. So that's part of the stand management for the rut and managing your sets. It's, first, I'm going to look at the daily forecast, and I'm going to narrow it down to the days that I want to hunt based on temperature drop. If I'm seeing a 7 to 8 degree temperature drop or more from morning to morning or daytime high to daytime high, then I'm going to sit. I put a huge priority on pre-rut morning sits starting next week. Very big priority. with the weather that's coming next week, we have morning lows 35, 36, 32, 32. I'm going to be sitting Wednesday morning, Friday morning, Saturday morning. Tuesday night looks really good. I might take a chance on Friday night at a good stand with a high of 45. When I see this forecast coming right here, and the way I look at that, and the way I'm hunting it, and I'm hunting unpressured stands, and it's the pre-rut. This is the pre-rut. It's going to happen. It's starting a little bit right now, but it will literally explode next week. I would say the majority of the hunting seasons that I go through, if I have something like this on these dates, then by next Saturday and Sunday, I'll have a buck on the ground 60, 70, 80% of the time. So I'm not even sure I'll make it to Saturday, but these are really good sits. Of course, the season's a marathon, not a sprint, so and you never can, say ever or never when it comes to hunting. But these days coming up are extremely high quality. I'm not going to miss them. And then this starts the roller coaster of the rut. We'll talk about that in another video. I start looking out over the next 3 weeks and saying, okay, the weather's going to be this. You can see these major weather changes 8 to 10 days out. The deer are going to be on their feet. They're going to be moving. They're hungrier. They miss feedings when major weather, extreme weather portions come through. High winds, they don't get up and move around as much. So they're limited feeding, and when it gets cold and when it gets a little bit more calm, they're ready to feed, they're ready to move. When a lot of deer are on their feet and you get into the pre-rut and mature bucks are ready, then you're going to see an explosion. Where you're not going to see an explosion is if you don't have any mature bucks around. So if you have young bucks around, you're going to see them active. They'll make some scrapes, open it up. But boy, mature bucks make a lot more rubs and scrapes than little bucks. And you're going to see that explosion, especially if you have those 3 to 4 year old bucks and older on your property, which we do. The one we saw this morning, the one we passed up on Monday, really nice bucks, and then we have some nicer ones too. So we'll try to focus on. Really pay attention to the weather. They're going to be moving. Know that when the winds are dropping, when the extreme weather or weather in general clears, when you see those morning lows, even if the daytime highs are the same, but the morning lows drop, make sure you're in a stand. Please take advantage of these morning sits. I'd trade those morning sits next week that I have planned on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. I'd trade those 3 morning sits for any of the sits I've had. This is only my 5th sit, but I'd trade that for 15, 20 sits since the opener of bow in early September, because those sits, I refer to them as 40% sits, 50% sits, meaning that all these other sits that a lot of people force in the early season in October lull, unless they're following the weather, then a lot of those sits might be 5% sits or less, meaning you have an opportunity to shoot a mature buck 5%. Still, you have an opportunity. But if I had used those 5% sits and I had taken those sits when the opportunity was not great, then I wouldn't have had this sit right here where we saw these bucks. I wouldn't have had that Monday morning sit where it was our first frost for the year. And if I burned out my stands, I burned out my lands, then I will not have those 3 morning sits that are going to be extremely high quality next week. I'm putting a huge priority on those, and I expect results. Might not get them, but I'm going to hunt it like they are, and I'm going to treat those with that respect. If you can just get the morning off just for 3-4 hours to hunt the stand, and you can save those stands till then, it's worth a whole long weekend just to sit 1 or 2 of those. I'm telling you, I've done that before. It takes a lot of patience. Someone asked me if I thought I was missing something, as far as, I'm not out in the woods all the time. I usually shoot a mature buck every 7 or 8 sits, 9 sits. And I don't, because that's time that I can spend with my family. It's time that I can spend doing more work. It's time that I can go grab trail cam cards on another property. It's time that I can scout public land over in Minnesota, which I'm going to be doing this weekend during this hot weather. So I have a lot of other things that I can be doing. And what I found is that the value of that, I have several times more potential to shoot a buck on those. And because I haven't destroyed those sits a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks before they even happen by sitting on low quality days, the opportunity is extremely high. I hope this makes sense to you. I'm going to try to hunt even Tuesday evening. There's going to be a good drop after some foul weather on Monday. Then I would expect that Tuesday evening to be a really good day. And you can see the drop in temperatures from morning. See 50 here, or 40s, high 40s, and then we're really getting down to close to freezing. And take advantage of where you're at, especially if you're in Minnesota, Wisconsin, northern Illinois, northern Indiana, northern Ohio, Michigan, over into Pennsylvania, New York. We're right in that wheelhouse, and boy, those states right there, that makes up for probably half the hunters in the country that'll be heading to the woods. And when you look at northern Iowa, and there's going to be that opportunity. If you're seeing rubs and scrapes really pop up right now in the woods, that'll tell you that next week's going to be a gem no matter where you are. So don't miss out. It's that pre-rut explosion time of the year. The forecast looks outstanding, right in the wheelhouse. A lot of my mature bucks, I've shot them on the 20th of October, 22nd, 23rd, 25th, 26th, and all the way through the end of October. About half my mature bucks that I've shot with a bow have been shot before November 1st. And with that weather coming next week, it's a golden opportunity. Don't miss out. I really hope you can get into the stand. Follow the All-Weather Whitetails book that I wrote last November. It talks all about it. Again, I'm not just going to give you a day and tell you to go out. I want to explain why you need to go out then and give you the tools that you can use for the rest of your life. All-Weather Whitetails, that book that I wrote last November, that's one of those tools. And I can't wait to hear about it in the comments below in this video and how well you do next week. And good luck. It's that time of year. Enjoy the hunt.